The desert keeps its own counsel. For countless generations, its vast and silent expanse has held stories buried deep beneath the shifting sands. The wind moves, sculpting dunes that rise and fall like the slow breaths of a sleeping giant. Under this endless ocean of golden dust, history waits patiently, hidden from the human eye. But the world has changed. We have built new eyes, tools that look down from the quiet darkness of space. These new eyes see things differently. They do not see the heat, nor do they feel the wind. They see patterns. And in a remote, sun-scorched corner of the world, they have seen a whisper from the past, a story written in the very earth itself, waiting for someone to read it. It began not with a shovel or a brush, but with a signal from orbit. A satellite circling the globe hundreds of miles above captured images of a desolate landscape. At first, the pictures looked like any other stretch of arid land, a canvas of brown and tan, but to the trained eye of an analyst, something was not quite right. For centuries, exploration meant walking the ground, climbing the hills, and peering into the distance. Archaeologists relied on luck, on ancient texts, or on the chance discovery of a farmer's plow. But now, we have an unblinking eye in the sky. Satellites equipped with powerful cameras and advanced sensors circle our planet, tirelessly mapping its surface. They are not looking for lost cities, not usually. They are monitoring weather patterns, tracking deforestation, mapping urban growth. Yet in the process, they gather a complete and impartial record of the ground below, capturing details that are invisible to anyone standing on it. The technology that made this discovery possible is wonderfully clever in its simplicity. Many satellites use multispectral imaging, capturing light beyond the visible spectrum. Different materials on the ground reflect this light in different ways. Packed earth from an ancient road, for instance, has a different signature than the loose sand that surrounds it. Buried stone walls can slightly change the moisture content of the soil above them, creating subtle variations in temperature and in vegetation that the satellite's sensors can detect. These tiny differences, invisible to a person on a walk, become clear and distinct patterns when viewed from hundreds of miles up. When the scientists zoomed in, the ghostly shapes began to take on a more definite form. The images revealed a settlement of remarkable complexity and order. The most prominent features were the long, straight pathways that crisscrossed the site. They were clearly defined thoroughfares. Some met at nearly perfect right angles. This suggests a community that planned its layout, a society that thought about how people would move through their living space. These lines were the skeletal remains of streets and avenues, corridors that once bustled with daily life. Alongside the streets, satellite images showed large circular enclosures. These features are mysterious. Some were quite large, for the community rather than a single family. Archaeologists have several theories. These circles could have been corrals for livestock, such as llamas. Or they might have been ceremonial open-air arenas for rituals, festivals, important community meetings. Perhaps the most impressive features are the large rectangular platforms. Wide, flat areas slightly raised above the ground, too large and uniform to be simple house foundations. Experts think they were bases for major public structures. Taken together, the streets, the circles, and the platforms paint a picture of a well-organized society. The ghost of this city, seen from the sky, is not just shapes. It is the imprint of a complex human system, a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of a people lost to time. What was the purpose of this city, standing alone in such an unforgiving environment? Experts who have studied the satellite maps are beginning to form a compelling hypothesis. Based on its size, its organized layout, its location along ancient travel routes, many believe this was a bustling trading hub. Well-defined streets suited for caravans, large open platforms turned into noisy markets. The city may have acted as a crucial link in a much larger network of ancient cultures. People from the mountains, people from the coast, communities from the south, communities from the north, pottery, textiles, precious stones, food staples, exchange of ideas, exchange of technologies, exchange of beliefs. This desert city could have been a melting pot of different traditions, a place where languages mingled and new styles of art and craftsmanship were born. Daily life in such a place would have been a rich tapestry of activity. In the early mornings, the streets would have filled with farmers bringing in produce from the surrounding irrigated fields, and artisans setting up their workshops. The air would have been thick with the sounds of bartering, the smells of cooking fires, and the chatter of different dialects. This was a city alive with purpose, a vital organ in the body of a regional economy. Long before satellites scanned the Earth, the people in the surrounding region told stories. These tales, passed down from grandparents to grandchildren around evening fires, spoke of the land and the ancestors who walked it. Legends tell of a great kingdom, a city of wealth and power, ultimately lost to the sand. Elders remember when the land was greener, rivers flowed where now there is only dust. They describe a proud people who built great structures and mastered the desert. But the stories end in sorrow. The most common legend is of a catastrophic drought. The rains that fed their crops and reservoirs simply stopped. Year after year the sky stayed merciless and cloudless. Rivers shrank to trickles, then vanished completely. Fields of maize and beans withered under the relentless sun. People prayed to their gods and performed rituals, but the sky offered no relief. The kingdom began to starve, faced with an impossible choice. Some say they held on, digging for water, rationing, until the last perished. Others believe the king led an exodus. They gathered what they could carry and set off on a sorrowful journey. For centuries these were just tales, folk myths and warnings. Then the lost city was discovered. Could this be the kingdom of legend? The view from space has given us the map, but the story itself lies buried in the soil. Now, the patient work of the archaeologist must begin. A team of scientists, historians, local experts is already making plans for the first on-the-ground excavations. This process will be slow and meticulous. Archaeology is not a treasure hunt, it is a careful and deliberate science. The team will not simply start digging everywhere, instead they will use the satellite images as a guide, selecting a few small promising areas for their initial test pits. One of the first goals will be to find and analyze pottery. Fragments of ceramic pots, known as sherds, are one of an archaeologist's most valuable tools. The style, materials, decorations on pottery can reveal a great deal. Different cultures have unique pottery styles, so finding certain types of sherds can help establish trade links with other regions. Beyond pottery, the team will be searching for the subtle traces of daily existence. They will look for tools made of stone, tools made of bone. They will carefully sift the soil for seeds, pollen, and other plant remains. These tiny botanical clues can reveal what crops they grew, what wild plants they gathered, and what their diet was like. The archaeologists also hope to locate burial sites, though this work must be done with the utmost respect and care. Graves are a direct window into the lives and beliefs of a people. Studying the skeletal remains themselves can provide invaluable information about the population's health, their average lifespan, and the diseases or hardships they may have faced. Each layer of earth that the archaeologists carefully remove is like turning a page in a history book. The knowledge buried at this site holds the promise of answering questions that have long been mysteries. Who were these people? What was the name of their city? What language did they speak? By uncovering inscriptions on stone, patterns on textiles, we might one day learn how they identified themselves. Finding artifacts that are unique to this site could reveal a culture we have never known before, with its own distinct art, traditions, and view of the world. The dig is a quest to give these people back their name and their place in human history. The site also holds the potential to teach us crucial lessons about survival and adaptation. This city was built in a harsh desert environment, which means its people must have been experts at managing scarce resources, particularly water. Archaeologists will be looking for evidence of canals, reservoirs, or terraced farming techniques. Understanding how this society successfully sustained itself in such a dry climate for what may have been centuries could provide valuable insights for our own time. As modern communities around the world face growing challenges from climate change and water scarcity, the ancient wisdom of this desert city might be more relevant than ever. The ultimate goal of the excavation is to reconstruct the full story of the city, from its founding to its final days. By combining different types of evidence, the team can build a detailed picture of the past. This is a multidisciplinary effort, where every shard of data, from a satellite image to a microscopic grain of pollen, contributes to a larger narrative. The excitement surrounding this dig is immense, but the scientists leading it are quick to emphasize that the process will take years, if not decades. This discovery is more than just a scientific endeavor, it is a bridge that connects our modern world with one that has long been silent. The technology that found the city and the science that will study it are products of the 21st century. Satellites, ground-penetrating radar, DNA analysis are tools our ancestors could never have imagined. Yet, these incredibly advanced instruments are being used to listen to the faintest whispers of the past. This project represents a beautiful collaboration between the new and the old. Cutting-edge innovation serves to honor and understand ancient wisdom. The project is building a vital bridge between the international scientific community and the local people whose ancestors may have built the city. Archaeologists today understand they are not just excavating soil, they are working in someone's homeland. The team is committed to partnership with local communities, sharing their findings as they emerge, and listening to oral histories preserved for centuries. The local legends of the Lost Kingdom are no longer just folklore. They are a crucial part of the research. This collaboration ensures the story is told not just by scientists, but with the voices of the people to whom this history belongs. The discovery can serve as a bridge to a better future for the region. If managed responsibly, the site could become a center for education and cultural tourism. A local museum could house the artifacts, creating jobs and allowing the community to take pride in its heritage. School children could visit to learn firsthand about their ancestors' ingenuity and resilience. Ultimately, the city connects us to a shared human story. The desire to build a home, to form a community, to trade with neighbors, and to create something lasting is a universal human impulse. Their lost city is a powerful reminder that we are part of a continuous story, and that the past is never truly gone. In the end, even with all our technology and all our curiosity, the desert will not give up all its secrets. It is a place of immense scale and profound mystery, and this one city is likely not the only one it holds. The discovery is a powerful testament to the new tools we have at our disposal. Satellite archaeology has opened a new frontier of exploration, allowing us to peer through the veil of sand and time. All around the world, deserts, jungles, plains, other lost stories are surely waiting. But the satellites can only show us the shadows. They cannot tell us the name of a single person who lived here. They cannot tell us what songs they sang. They cannot tell us what gods they worshipped. They cannot tell us what they felt as they watched their world dry up around them. These most human parts of the story can only be guessed at, pieced together from the fragile artifacts they left behind. The true richness of their lives, the laughter and the sorrow, remains the property of the silent dust. We must approach this history with humility, recognizing the limits of our knowledge and honoring the mystery that will always remain. The story of the lost city emerging from the desert is a quiet and hopeful one. It tells us that even things that seem irrevocably gone can reappear. It shows that the past is not a static and distant country, but a dynamic presence that can re-emerge into the light. This city was built, it thrived, it was abandoned, it was forgotten. For 1,000 years it slept under the sand. And then, a signal from space gave it a second life, bringing its story back into our world. It is a reminder that history is a cycle of being lost and being found. And so, the work continues. The archaeologists will dig, the scientists will analyze, the storytellers will weave the facts into a narrative. But when the work is done and the teams have gone home, the desert will remain. The wind will still blow, moving the sand. The sun will still beat down on the ancient, quiet ground. The city has spoken to us, but its voice is a faint one carried across a gulf of 1,000 years.